What is up, my guys? It's your boy Jabrak back with another short discussion, this time about Jordan Peterson on Jubilee's Surrounded. Now, if anybody was paying attention when the video was released, the original video title was actually One Christian versus 20 Atheists. And then it must not have been even a few hours after I got the notification on YouTube saying one Christian versus 20 atheists. Later on, I check, the video is titled Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists. Now, I haven't watched the video for reasons I'll discuss in a moment, but I've seen some clips, and dog, it's it is brutal. Dr. Peterson mentioned what's it? He was put through the hypothetical of is it ever ethical to lie, and the hypothetical of lying to preserve the lives of Jews in your house when you're asked by Nazis. And he was like, I never get in a situation where I would have to lie. And I was just thinking, bro, you got yourself in the situation where you couldn't be direct about your beliefs, about your ideas and ideologies and axioms, your axiomatic beliefs. You couldn't get into a you couldn't be honest. You were in a position where you couldn't be honest about those beliefs. But enough about that. The actual discussion with Jordan Peterson on Jubilee reveals a much bigger issue that we have with modern debate culture in and of itself. Debate culture per se. Our views on debate culture are actually extremely flawed. We are The way we have debates today don't actually measure the validity of the beliefs or claims that we're discussing, but rather glorifies quick-wittedness and the debate ability of the speakers that are involved. It pedestalizes the people who can give the most charismatic or engaging answer on the fly, rapid fire. Uh, John Lennox actually brings this up in his conversation with Alex O'Connor in their in the video that I was discussing in my previous upload. So John Lennox says that it would be ideal to have a discussion that gives both individuals sufficient time to research the claims presented in each statement that's given before they provide rebuttals. Like the example that Mr. Lennox gave was have one person give the opening statement, then they both go away, come back next week, then the second opening statement is given, they leave, come back, then and after another week, then they give one rebuttal, come back after another week, second rebuttal, and so on and so forth, so that each individual that presents their idea has sufficient time to gather their thoughts, do proper research into the claims that were given, and then provide a satisfying, properly properly written rebuttal to the answers that are given. Because in their current state, debates don't actually establish the proper exchange of ideas, but for lack of better words, the swordplay of words, the word play. So O'Connor brings up what's it? So Alice O'Connor brings up it is kind of like a boxing match. How a boxing match shows you who's the better boxer, but not necessarily who's the better fighter. When the two individuals are in environments without the regulations, the decor, the press, requiring the use of their skills in genuine combat to protect their lives, whose skills could stand proper? Whose skills could stand by themselves, could protect the individuals that are in question? Now, this is not to say that boxing is necessarily an inefficient fighting style, but it's a controlled fighting style. You're fighting for sport in a controlled environment, and whoever is able to provide the quickest instant solution is the winner. Whereas in a situation of actual violent combat, there are no controls in place. Some dude is walking up with a knife, some dude's walking up with a gun. There are weapons involved. Boxing is not always the most effective choice in every combat situation. Likewise, the arguments that are presented inside of a controlled debate, a moderated debate, are not always going to stand the test of, does it provide a fulfilling worldview. So the boxing match cannot provide proper determinations of actual combat situations, and neither can the debate platform give decent determinations of worldviews and ideas and their applications in the real world, and their applications in lives, in the actual lives of the people who take take up axiomatic beliefs. Now, of course, I'm using big words, but that is to say that the process that we have of debates doesn't facilitate proper discussion, doesn't facilitate proper interpreting of ideas, proper exegesis of the ideas presented, and exegesis of the source material that these ideas come from. For instance, any debate about controversial topics like scripture requiring a certain level of expertise in the texts that are involved is not going to be sufficiently discussed in a battle of wits, in a battle of the arguments. That kind of discussion needs to take place over the course of a long period of time, with proper study, proper investigation, and proper deductive reasoning, proper review of the evidence that's presented. And we just don't get that in modern debate culture. And we've kind of gotten lazy in especially Western, especially American concept of debate culture. And I think that's partially a consequence of the political landscape idealizing this kind of debate, this really quick debate structure, this really quick, who can give the most charismatic answer, who can give the most clippable order of words. And proper discourse suffers for it. I think we can do better. I think we can change for the better, and I think we can improve our methods of argumentation that would enable us to face our beliefs and our worldviews more directly and more honestly. I think we can do better than our current debate structure, and even Oxford professor John Lennox thinks so as well. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe to help fight against the YouTube algorithm and get Christ-centered content about the video games we all know and love from a biblical perspective. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a blessed day, or a night, depending on when you're watching.